Every morning, before the sun rose, Ka fed the stray dogs near the riverbank. He never told anyone. He simply rose early, wrapped some bread in cloth, and walked down to the water's edge in the dark. The dogs knew him. They came quietly, ate from his hand, and disappeared back into the shadows. And Ka pushed his boat into the water and began another day. He had done this for 40 years. Ka was a ferryman on the Nile. Back and forth across the river, he carried farmers, merchants, mothers, and children. He lived a small life, but it was his. He was not a cruel man. He knew that. But there was a place inside him he never looked at, a dark and quiet place. And inside that place lived one memory he could never forget, because there was one night he never spoke about. One winter, many years ago, a family came to the riverbank at dusk. A man, a woman, and 3 small children. They were frightened. The river was rising fast. Rain was coming. They needed to cross. "We have no coins," the man said. "Please help us. The water is rising and my children are afraid." Ka looked at them, then up at the darkening sky. The children stood close to their mother in the cold. Ka said no. He had rules. He could not work for nothing. So he pulled his boat to shore, went home, ate his dinner, and convinced himself that someone else would help them. That night, the river flooded, and the family was never seen again. Ka buried the memory beneath 40 years of bread, stray dogs, and small acts of kindness. But every morning on the river, he still felt it pressing against him. And one evening, he set down his oar and never picked it up again. He opened his eyes to darkness. Cold stone lay beneath his feet, and the air was still and silent. Then came the sound of footsteps, slow and steady. A tall figure emerged from the shadows, with the body of a man, the head of a black jackal, and eyes that seemed to see everything. Ka stepped back. "Do not be afraid," the figure said. "Who are you?" Ka whispered. "Anubis. I walk beside those who have just arrived." He glanced toward the long, dark road ahead. "Come, we have a journey to make." "Where are we going?" "To the place where everything is decided," Anubis said. "Walk." The road was long, dark, and strange. Shadows moved at its edges, and distant sounds echoed through the darkness. Ka stayed close to Anubis, and little by little, his fear became something quieter. Not comfort, but the feeling that he was no longer alone. At last, they reached a massive gate of black stone. Ancient faces covered every surface, thousands of eyes staring down at him. Ka pushed against the gate, but it did not move. "It will not open," Anubis said, "until you speak one true thing about yourself." Ka swallowed. "I worked hard all my life. I was a good father. I helped my neighbors." The gate remained closed. The carved faces watched him in silence. Ka closed his eyes, and at last the truth rose from the place where he had buried it. "I let a family die," he said quietly. "I could have helped them, and I chose not to. I have carried that with me every day since." The gate opened. Ka stood there in silence. He had not spoken those words in 40 years. He thought the truth would crush him, but instead it felt strangely light. Beyond the gate, the road ended at a river. It was nothing like the Nile. The water was black and perfectly still, without sound or reflection. A small boat waited at the edge, beside a thin old figure wrapped in shadow. "Drink before you cross," the figure said, holding out a clay cup. "You will forget everything. Your shame, your failures, the family at the river. Many choose this. Forget. It sounded so gentle. After 40 years of carrying that weight, Ka almost wanted it. He took the cup and raised it slowly. Then he heard the man's voice again. Please, my children. If he drank, that voice would disappear. The man's face would disappear. The children standing in the cold would disappear. But so would the good things. The morning bread, the stray dogs eating from his hand, his wife's face, his son's laugh. Every small, honest moment of his life. Ka lowered the cup. I will cross with everything, he said. The boat drifted into the black water, and Anubis stood silently beside him. The river made no sound as they crossed. On the other side stood the scale, huge and golden. On one side of the scale rested a single white feather, small and light. Ka stopped. Even after everything he had seen, the sight of that feather filled him with fear. Anubis stepped forward and gently lifted Ka's heart from his chest. Every part of his life rested inside it. The kindnesses, the regrets, and the night he abandoned a frightened family by the river. The heart dropped heavily onto the scale. The feather flew upward. Ka understood at once. It was not enough. He closed his eyes and finally stopped hiding from the truth. He had failed the family. Nothing could change that. Then he heard a soft sound. Across the hall stood an old woman in white, waiting in the warm light of an open doorway. It was the mother from the river. She looked at him without anger and nodded once in forgiveness. Ka broke into tears. The scale trembled. Slowly the heart rose. Slowly the feather fell. Then both sides became still, balanced. You may continue, Anubis said quietly. Ka looked toward the doorway. She forgave me, he whispered. I did not deserve it. No, Anubis said, you did not. But she gave it anyway. And suddenly Ka understood. Every small kindness in his life had come from kindness once shown to him. He had forgotten, but his heart had remembered. Ka laughed softly through his tears and stepped into the warm light. The doorway closed behind him. Anubis turned and walked back down the dark road. Another soul would soon arrive, frightened and carrying something heavy, and Anubis would be there to walk beside them. And maybe that is the greatest thing the story of Anubis teaches us. Not about death, but about how to live. Do the small, quiet, good things, even when nobody is watching. The ones you might even forget yourself, because your heart will remember them, even when you do not. Thank you for watching Hero English Club today. If this story stayed with you, come back. There are more stories waiting for you here. I will see you in the next one.